I remember I hung out with a few Zimbabweans. We did like a party. I ended up sleeping over. It was family friends, so it was my mum's friends, and then I went and stuff. Anyway, it was the morning after, and we happened to be talking about religion. And by then, I was starting to expand my thought process. I'd started to learn more about colonialism, having learned about the brutality of how the white people treated the Aboriginal people when they moved to this country, really sparked a lot of thoughts, made me think about colonization as a whole. And because I already knew what we suffered, I started like going out of my way to learn more things, and it's just horrific. Anyway, I'm at this lady's house. Everyone starts talking about, how there's the only way to be saved is through Jesus, etc. And I'm like, okay, but I don't understand what is so wrong with ancestral veneration that we Africans do when isn't Jesus an ancestor? So if we're praying to Jesus to speak to God, or if the Catholics pray to Mary to speak to God, these people are only like intermediaries, if that's the word, like the person in between, the messenger. Why was it so wrong for us to speak to our ancestors? I simply cannot understand that. It's the cognitive dissonance for me, because as I spoke to them and I made what I believe and still believe to be a valid point, they arced up because they were taught that Jesus is the only way. But they couldn't give me any like reasonable intellectual responses as to what made Jesus a better intermediary than someone that had lived directly in your familial line, that has your DNA or you have theirs. If we believe in epigenetics and trauma being passed down genetically through a genetic line, as well as, your gifts that you have, if you're really good at maths or sports, all of these things came from your genetic line. Last I remember, it's been a while since I looked into this, but last I remember, I believe that people believe that Jesus actually was real historically. Whether or not he walked on water or like proliferated fish and bread is up for debate. But whether or not you believe he did actually exist, what makes him a better person to speak to? And why didn't Jesus reveal himself to Black people by himself? Why did he have to have white people not only come and teach us about him? Why would he allow, or God allow, his messengers to use such violent methods to get their message across? There's so much incongruence in Christianity with, God and the Bible and the world in which it describes. Is supposed to be good, and people that follow Christianity are supposed to be good, and God is supposed to be good. God is good, God is great. I'm going to thank him for my daily bread. These are things that I used to sing all the time when I was growing up. So this good, benevolent spirit, allowed us to have free will, which he could have very well not allowed us to do because he's God, and if he's supposed to be omniscient and omnipotent, then why does he act like he's been forced to do any of these things? So why is it that his methods are so harsh? Why did the Christians have to go on crusades